Hey Libra, what's going on? It's your girl D here with Deep House Energy, and I'm here to bring you your Silent Enemies reading for the month of April 2022. I hope all is well with everybody. Thank you so much for all the various ways you support the channel. I appreciate you guys. This is going to be a general read, so make sure you take what resonates, leave the rest. If you need a personal, my information is in the box in the video below. In the box below the video itself. So the Silent Enemies reading is a reading that was designed to help you to develop your intuitive nudges. Some of you come to tarot, because you're basically looking at what we're picking up intuitively. However, everybody has intuition. This is why everybody can do, if they wanted to, they could do tarot, because it's based off of intuitive energies. Now, in order for you to basically, okay, how can I put this? On a spiritual level, we're all here for a particular reason. We're here to experience. We've come down in this avatar, which is this human body, as a spirit. And in order for us to learn the lessons we have to learn on this 3D plane, on this 3D level, we needed to come down here in a human form to do it. Well, we do have to still keep in contact with headquarters, our higher self, our higher being, in order to help guide us and direct us through this maze of the 3D realm that we're in. And part of the way that we keep in contact with our higher self is through our intuitive abilities, being able to sense when something is not right, even though we can't physically touch it or actually see it. Okay, so these lessons that come to us are going to come to us mostly through the people who are close to us, our family members, our friends, our lovers, our business partners, people who are in our electromagnetic energy on a regular basis, right? No matter what the relationship is, your landlord is in your energy on a regular basis. Your tenant is in your energy on your kid's teacher. So, not only your family and friends and lovers, right? So these are people you deal with on a regular basis. And when your intuitive energy goes off about these people, it's something that you should investigate. It could be a simple situation as in, maybe your boss is acting really weird and you may find out after, investigating that your boss may have lost, a family member. Or it could be something, even more severe where it's like, maybe your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your wife is acting really weird and then you find out it's because they're having an affair. So your intuition is very important. It lets you know that there's something going on and you need to investigate it and find out. Worst case scenario, or best case scenario would be that it's not even anything negative directed towards you. Maybe you just have someone in your energy field who may need a friend. And investigating that intuitive nudge, coming to find out that maybe your boss is having problems because they lost a family member. Maybe, you do something kind for your boss to let them know, hey, I understand you're going through some things, right? So it just helps to, build the energy around you, and strengthen the connections you have around you, but also to help you weed out who don't need to be around you, right? So we're going to put out 3 cards. I'm going to talk to you intuitively about each of these cards. And if it resonates with your situation, then you may want to investigate your intuitive nudge to see what could come of this. If it doesn't resonate, don't worry about it. It's not your reading. Check your other placements or check for another reading or another reader for this week, right? So we got the 3 cards out. So we're looking at the 5 of Swords. We're looking at the 2 of Swords that came out in reverse. We're looking at the 3 of Wands. The 2 of Wands. So these are I'm going to read them separately as if they're separate situations, but they can merge. Okay? Some people may only resonate with one, where some people may resonate with all 3. Okay? And where only one situation may have to do with you, the other situations could all be merged. Just take what resonates, okay? So with this 5 of Sword energy here, this is showing up as a silent enemy because this is either, usually with the silent enemy reading, this is either you being this way to people or people being this way to you. Either way, it's an enemy. The activity or the action is an enemy to, positive well-being. So with this 5 of Sword energy here, this could be an energy of somebody who, if this is internal, this is an energy of you not, there's an imbalance here in reference to your thought process, the way you're seeing things. You could be confused about things. The swords represent a thought, right? And how do you get thought? You get thought because your intuition is telling you, hey, think about this. So your intuition goes off, and then you actually focus on something and think about it, right? So for some of you with this Five of Swords, you may have had some intuitive nudges about this person, place, or thing, and you may have brushed it off. But the fact that you've had these thoughts about it, and it's not, it's like some of you are ignoring your intuition. Okay, your intuition is not to be ignored. It's there to protect you. So some of you are ignoring it because of the person, place, or thing that is setting this alert off. You may not want to accept the fact that this is what it is, but it really is. So you could be internally questioning, what it is that you're thinking, or, the thoughts that come into your head. And you could just be like either going for it, and it could be, how can I say this? You could be overthinking or overanalyzing a situation in reference to something holding you back, something moving you forward, because the Aquarius energy is the Five of Swords, and Aquarius energy is all about forward movement, long-term stability. So you don't want something that's unstable to continue for the long haul. So you definitely want to address whatever it is that is coming to you intellectually through your intuition. Address that, okay? Because it's coming up for a reason. And you are an air sign. So, it may be easier for you, well, if you're, especially if your Mercury's in air, it may be easier for you to actually look at this situation from a logical perspective and say, okay, yeah, I'm getting these situations here, I'm getting these thoughts, and I realize I'm in a situation where I'm not benefiting, I'm not winning. Or you could be around people who are doing things very cutthroat. Okay, either you're being cutthroat or these people are being cutthroat to you, because again, this is internally versus externally. So if it's people around you, there's a cutthroat environment here. There's an energy of someone maybe misunderstanding your actions or your thoughts. Somebody may not be able to handle the fact that you're looking at something logically and you're not in your emotion about it. And so they may be looking at it like, oh, you're mean, because sometimes the Five of Swords gets a bad rap of somebody who's just all cutthroat. But it's not necessarily that. It's in its positive sense, it's like, look, this is the way we have to look at things. And yeah, somebody might be upset emotionally and they may walk away. But the thing is, we have to do what is best. We have to do it fairly and impartially. And that may, somebody may not like it. So you could be a boss in a situation here where you have to make some type of move, and it may, somebody may not like it because they don't like change. Aquarius is all about forward movement, and so somebody may not like the fact that things are changing, and they may look at you like, damn. So that could be the case. And also, don't get caught up in that energy. Don't get caught up in doing things, you're doing things fairly and impartially, which is logic. And then people coming at you with their emotions about it, right? Because you are Libra, you want things to be balanced, right? But we're not talking about a balance in emotions. We're talking about fairness and impartiality. That has nothing to do with emotion. So you have to be careful that you don't get too caught up in emotion where you're not able to make decisions as far as forward movement and evolution are concerned. And then you have to also be careful that you're not in a position where you don't want to be too cutthroat. You don't want to be too to the point where you're not considering anybody. But you do want to make sure that you're doing things in fairness and impartiality. That's what I'm getting with that Five of Sword energy. Yeah, it's just you have to be careful not to get too emotional and not to become too detached. Because that Aquarius energy in its negative sense and in positive sense, it's about detaching emotionally from something, being able to make change without being emotionally tied to it, right? And so you may be in a situation where you're going to have to make some change like that, but you're emotionally attached, or because you have to make the change, the people around you may look at you and say that you're being harsh and you're being cold, but you have to do it. You could be a boss that has to change a scenario or situation because of what's been going on with COVID. And, people may be set in their ways or used to doing things a certain way, and now things have changed. And you have to be the one to bring down the hammer and say, look, this is what we have to do. What you're doing is fair for everybody, but there's somebody who's in their feelings about it, okay? So that's the type of energy I'm getting here. So you're going to have to be careful not to get caught up in that, is what I'm getting with that Five of Sword energy. Now here's your energy. Whenever you show up in a silent enemies reading, it's you who's doing the dirt, or you who's putting yourself in a position where you're not going to win. All right, you have to be careful and pay attention to what your intuition is telling you. And with this Two of Swords energy in reverse, that's the negative aspect of Libra. All right, because this is the moon in Libra, to be specifically correct about this card. It's the moon. The moon represents emotions, right? Intuition. And sometimes people get caught up in trying to make a decision because they're trying to balance everybody else's emotions with everybody else's. Like, or if this is just you and someone else, you could be trying to say, okay, I want to be fair to this person, and I want to be fair to this person. I want to be fair to them, and I want to be fair to me, right? And so you're trying to figure out how to do both. And it's very difficult with the moon in Libra. It's difficult because you're dealing with intuition, and you're dealing with emotion versus logic. So there's got to be a balance in both. So sometimes that puts you in a situation where you can't decide. Well, when it's in reverse, this is somebody who don't give a shit about other people's emotions and feelings. They're going to do what's best for them. So either you're doing this to someone, Libra, because this is your energy, which means that, you could be making some, decisions here where you're just being very cutthroat, okay? And you're not worrying about other people's feelings, or somebody's doing this to you, all right? Now, the negative aspect of Libra is the energy of a people pleaser. Somebody who's like, okay, well, I want to be able to relate. I want us to get along. So what do you want me to do? How do you want me to do this? And so you're feeding into the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody doesn't want to accept the reality of a situation, and you don't want them to be upset. So you're trying to come in and how to figure out how to balance it. But what's going on is it's putting you in reverse. It's putting you in an upside down scenario situation. So this could be a family dynamic. This could be a work situation. It could be, with your friends, whomever. But there is either somebody who's not considering you and you're not saying anything about it, or you're being very cutthroat and you're only worried about what you got going on and you don't care about what anybody else is doing. So you're going to have to be careful of that. But I feel like it's more so of you being careful of being put in a position where you're allowing people to do you dirty and you're not saying anything because you don't want to ruffle any feathers. You don't want to make a big deal out of anything. You got to cut that out. And this could be related to that. Somebody may have done something real cutthroat and not considered everybody involved, and you could be the one who is in the disadvantage or the imbalance as a result of that, and you're not saying anything. You're not speaking up because you don't want to ruffle feathers. So you got to be careful of that. All right. Yeah, and then you got the Two of Wands here. That's Aries energy. So that's okay. That's a matter of, all right, I had an idea with the Ace of Wands, okay? So now with the Two of Wands, I have to decide which way I want to go. I'm going to take action. I just need to decide if I'm going to go left or right? So what may have happened is you could be the one who's like, okay, I'm going to do what's best for me. But with this Two of Wands energy here, you taking a particular position or a side in a situation could put you in a situation where you come off as somebody who doesn't care about anybody else's feelings, or it's the opposite. It's somebody doing things and putting you in a position where you're at a disadvantage, and now what you have to do is you have to decide how to move forward, because you're going to have to take some type of action. Being in an energy of imbalance, you have to bring balance. That's what Libra does. So there's a situation of imbalance here, and you need to bring it, okay? Because we're dealing with 5 and we're dealing with 2. All right, that equals 7. Actually, there's 5 positive, 2 negative. So that actually is 3. It's still an imbalance. 3 is an imbalanced number. 5 is an imbalanced number. 2 is an even number, but it's imbalanced because it's in reverse. You feel me? So you got to bring balance no matter what this is. Whether this is you doing this or you being the reciprocator of this imbalanced energy. All right. So with this Two of Wands energy here, I feel like this is an energy saying when this is showing up in a silent enemies reading, it's like you have to take action. You cannot be stagnant. Because the Two of Swords energy in reverse, that's could also be somebody who's two-faced it, who's betraying you, pretending that they have your side and they don't. Or this could be you being two-faced to someone for whatever reason. But with this Two of Wands here, you're not taking action for whatever reason, and you need to bring balance. Right? This could be about travel. Maybe you have to go someplace. in order to bring balance to a situation. There could be some paperwork that could have been involved, something maybe you have to sign or some type of documentation you have to deal with. But I do feel like there's some pain here, and you have to figure out what to do to bring balance to the pain. Some of you may be in a relationship or a circumstance or situation where you were just being manipulated. And because you're trying to keep the peace and you don't want to say anything, you don't want to ruffle any feathers or cause any, you know how you be in an environment and people see somebody doing something wrong, but if they say something to them, they know they got to deal with this person's mouth. And it's like some people just won't deal with it because they don't want to hear this person's mouth. They don't want to, please just give this person their way. I don't want to hear their mouth. That's that negative Libra energy. Somebody could be in that energy where they know that, they want what they want. And if people don't give it to them, they're going to come in and huff and puff and complain. They know nobody don't want to hear it. So people just going to give them what they want. You could be a boss in this type of environment where you're going to have to check one of your employees because they're emotionally attached to what they want, and things have to progress and move on, and you can't be stuck in stagnant energy. You have to move forward, and they may not like the change. So, they may have their little feelings hurt, but it could be something that you really shouldn't be emotionally attached to like that in the first place. So it's that type of thing. It's either you're, being exposed to this or you're exposing people to this, one or the other, right? But there has to be a change here. And I feel like this is what the Two of Wands is representing. The fact that you have to decide which action to take, because this is Mars. I believe this is Mars. I think the Two of Wands is Mars in Aries. I mean, Mars in, Mars in Aries, if I'm not mistaken. It could be the Three of Wands is Mars in Aries. Forgive me, but I know this is definitely Mars in Libra. So it could very well be that this is Mars and Aries because they're opposite polarities of each other, Libra and Mars. I mean, Libra and Aries. So, yeah, I feel like you need to come out of a stagnant energy of not making a decision with this Two of Swords in reverse and make a decision with the Two of Wands. You have to. You have to, because there's an imbalance here with the Five of Swords. You got to make it either 6 swords or you got to make it 4 swords. One or the other, right? So this is the energy I'm getting for you. So what we're going to do in the extended is I'm going to pull 4 cards for each of these and see what additional messages are associated with that, whether there's new information or whether there's something that reiterates what I was talking about. So if this resonates with you or someone you know, Libra, let me know in the comments. But don't forget to click that like button. And please feel free to subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you'll know when I post. If this does not resonate with you, don't worry about it. It's just not your reading this week. Check for your other placements because you're not just Libra, right? Or check another reading on the channel, or maybe check with some other readers this week. But make sure you come back. You know what I'm saying? And the link to the extended's in the box below. So for those who resonate and want to see what's coming moving forward as far as what additional messages there are, feel free to follow me over to the extended. I will see you there. If not, Libra, I'll check you out in the next reading. Later.